And welcome back to Score on Business. I'm Len Van Popering, and we're going to continue our conversation today with Pete Hendricks, founder of Integritec. And Pete, just before the break, you were making a point about the whole sales process. Could you take it from
and
where you
so
left off?
we were talking about questions and the power of questions. And I laid out, when I first speak with a prospective customer, I lay out enough of what we do. And so, you know, I kind of say where the value is. And because I know that there are, as I mentioned, the two kinds of prospects for me. There's the do-it-yourselfers and the ones who aren't. So when I describe why customers work with us and say, does that kind of make sense? At that point, if they're a do-it-yourselfer, they're going to say, oh, I've got folks that do that, or I do that. And if they are someone who may be a customer, they'll say, boy, we're all about saving time. And then I can go on to some other questions.
Makes a very nice entree into the rest of the conversation.
Yes.
So, you know, at the heart of the matter is getting an audience with these busy executives. Is there some advice that you can provide our viewers on how to secure those high-value meetings?
Well, I can share what we do.
Okay.
And so first, calling in cold to these folks will almost never work. And we endeavor to have them know who we are before we reach out. And so one of our tools is a newsletter, but it's really not a newsletter, it's just an email that I call the Tech Corner. And in this email, we aren't trying to sell, we aren't trying to promote Integritec. We specifically go and look for content that tech leaders would have interest in. We look for an article that somebody's written about something I think they'll be interested in, and I'll introduce the article and maybe make some comments about it and then have that. And so when this email comes to the 500 or so tech folks that receive it, there's nothing in there trying to sell them. There's nothing doing anything. It's someone trying to share valuable content. And that really softens, that really helps with entry into accounts. Also in Nashville and Middle Tennessee, it's really who you know. So I think networking is important. I have a lot of networking coffees to meet with people. It's much more valuable to, even if I don't get a warm introduction, if I can reach out to someone, which would probably be on LinkedIn, and say, hey, I see we're both connected to John Doe. He's a great guy. I've known him for a long time. Hey, it'd be great to connect for coffee or chat by phone. And so those are the things that really seem to help. One other thing is we use a marketing campaign, and what that looks like is that we'll identify somebody that could be a prospective customer, and we'll, on the first day, we'll reach out and send a LinkedIn message or an email. Usually don't hear back. 7 days later, we'll send another one, perhaps call. Usually don't hear back. On the 14th day, we send a handwritten note, and there is magic in handwritten notes because people don't get them anymore.
That's right, it can really stand out in a competitive field.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, it may have an article that I think they'll be interested in, it may not, but I usually won't hear from them after that. Then on the 21st day, I'll send an email with an article I think they'll be interested in. Usually don't hear from them then. On the 28th day, I'll send an email or call or do both and say, hey, you know, I sent you a handwritten note. Hopefully you got it. Also sent an article that I thought you would be interesting. It really would be great to have coffee or chat by phone. And I get a fair amount. That's when it happens.
It's such an important point, I think, that you're making, where so often we make one inquiry and don't get a response, and it's very easy to become a little bit depressed over that, really. But I think your point here is so critical, is that it's a multi-step process, and you need to keep on with the pressure in terms of the intensity to make sure you get a higher result. Better response. Over time. Now, you mentioned LinkedIn a second ago. But we're going to take that topic up after break.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.